Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
So, Labour's big announcement this morning was a crowd pleaser. 4 more rainy bank holidays to enjoy, one for each of the patron saints of England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. But Mr Corbyn probably won't be getting the time off work if he wins the election on June the 8th. And on the Andrew Marr show this morning, he was asked what he would do as Prime Minister if the security services asked him to authorise a drone strike on the leader of Islamic State.
What I would tell them is, give me the information you've got. Tell me how accurate that is, and tell me what you think can be achieved by this. But the point has...
If they do know where he is, because I'm asking you about decisions you would have to take as Prime Minister.
Can I take you back to the whole point?
Yeah.
What is the objective here? Is the objective to start more strikes that may kill many innocent people, as has happened?
Do you think killing the leader of ISIS would be helpful for a political solution?
I think the leader of ISIS not being around would be helpful. I'm no supporter or defender in any way whatsoever of ISIS. I'm sure you would concede. But I would also argue that the bombing campaign has killed a large number of civilians, many of whom were virtually prisoners of ISIS. So you've got to think about these things.
Mr Corbyn, earlier, David, is his reply refreshing or damaging?
It's damaging. He's clearly been feet to the fire already in the first week. There's going to be lots of questions on his suitability as a leader and the damage it could cause to our national security over the weeks ahead. And Andrew Marr's cut straight to the chase here. The other thing, of course, is the letters of last resort. One of the first duties of a Prime Minister when he walks into number 10 is to sign these letters on his own or her own in a room, a very lonely moment, to decide whether he should press the nuclear button, and that goes in the Vanguard submarines and is opened in the event of a strike on Britain. Now, he's dodged that question so many times, so one has to wonder what he would do with that. He has to make these big decisions if he's Prime Minister.
On the ISIS point, refreshing or damaging?
Well, it shores up his base. I mean, all the people who already support him will be... That's the sort of thing they support him for. And maybe his tactic is, you know, that's all he's going to get. That's what the polls seem to suggest, in which case they'll be very pleased and saying, yep, the man is a man for peace who doesn't press buttons and doesn't shoot people down. But, I mean, if you want to win, you have to... You have to deal with your own weaknesses and reach out to other people. And I think most people would say that's not somebody who could defend the country.
I wonder if he was being totally honest in saying he would consider it. He'd ask for more information, because he has previously been on the record as being against drone strikes in principle. He's campaigned against them. He wants to abolish drones.
Well, I think Andrew Marr let him off by saying it was a drone strike rather than, you know, a Navy SEAL or SAS operation. I mean, he hid behind the fact that there could be collateral damage, but actually we know that's not his position, because he condemned the assassination of Osama bin Laden, even though there was no collateral damage. I think David's right on the Trident point. He completely fudged that question. And I think we heard Nia Griffiths on this very show say that Trident would be, the renewal of Trident would be in the next Labour Party manifesto. It turns out now we don't know. And when he was asked, he said that remains to be seen. He's reopened a can of worms.
And of course, what he said about Trident, which was extraordinary, was yes, we would rebuild the submarines, but we won't have any nukes on them, which was kind of expensive and useless.
And of course the Labour Party were forced very soon after that interview to put out a statement saying that it is Labour Party policy to renew Trident. And of course...
so where are we? Do we know what the party's policy is?
Well, it is to renew Trident, but he started this review which involves looking at it all again to decide. We know that he's a unilateralist to start with, but whether he can force this through is very dubious.
Does it matter though if the party policy is in favour of Trident, if the leader is not? The potential Prime Minister is not.
They split 3 ways when they went to vote on it in the Commons. The party had agreed that they were pro-Trident, and when it came to the vote, they split 3 ways. I think it is very difficult for them. I think it's always been a really difficult issue for Labour. The question is whether you want to seal off your negatives, whether you really want to try and reach out to people beyond. There are an awful lot of people who will like what he said. There are an awful lot of people who think that we've been involved in terrible wars, we've wasted a lot of money and blood, and let's just get back from the whole thing, let's retreat from the world and not try punching above our weight. And there's something to be said for that. And that's a reasonable argument.
He's been true to himself on this.
I think he is, and I think Polly's right. There are an awful lot of people that will agree with him, just not enough to win a general election. In the latest Comres poll, the Tories are at 50%, Labour's on 25%. And I think, as my colleague James Forsyth in The Spectator said, if this was a boxing match, it would have been stopped by now by the referee.
Well, we're not stopping, we're going on.
I've been getting away with it all my